As soon as I finished Mafia 1 and made the video on that, I knew I had to play Mafia 2. I remember growing up having a PlayStation 3, and I had the demo of Mafia 2, and I think it gave you like 10 minutes that you could explore the area, and that was about it. And I remember my friend and I would always just start and stop and restart the demo to get as much out of that 10 minutes that I could. I could never convince my mom to purchase Mafia 2 for me because of the Playboy collectibles. Obviously, that's not something my mom wanted middle school me to have such easy access to. With that being said, though, I decided to boot up Mafia 2, and the first thing that kind of struck me was the way that the game looks. As I mentioned, I just finished Mafia 1 Definitive Edition, and it looks great. It looks maybe not like a current-gen game, but at least a game that's come out within the past 10 years or so. Mafia 2, however, did not. It even said it was remastered. Honestly, it looks like it came straight from the PS3. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. When you zoom out, or I guess like when you're actually driving in the game looks great. I think the vehicles drive fine. I don't have too many complaints there. But for whatever reason, I just feel like this game looks so much worse than Mafia 1. And it even said at the beginning of the game that this was a remaster. So, I don't know, kind of threw me off there. With that being said, though, the story is actually pretty good. I will say it's really cool where the first, I think it's 6 or 7 missions, it's all snowy in the town that you're in, and it just gives a different vibe. It gives a very realistic vibe where part of the game is in one season, the next part of the game is in another season. It adds another layer of immersion into the game, in my opinion. I will say, it's not my favorite story. I definitely like Mafia 1 better. The end of Mafia 2 definitely picks up, and I almost decided to change that and say I like Mafia 2 more, but Mafia Definitive Edition still has the best story, at least out of these two that I've played so far. And I have played 3, but it's been so long I don't really remember. But when I get to 3, we'll cross that bridge, after we play the game and we get there. However, I think Mafia 2 is a great sequel because, spoiler alert, or if you didn't watch the first Mafia video, Tony Angelo dies at the end of Mafia 1, and it's Vito that does it. And I did not expect to actually play that mission where you drive up on Tony and you kill him as Vito Scaletta. I thought that was a perfect tie-in between Mafia 1 and 2, and it really connected the games better than I thought was actually going to happen. In all honesty, I think the stories were relatively similar in the fact that the main protagonist, in this case Vito Scaletta, is trying to do everything right and just keeps getting sucked in by Joe and eventually ends up becoming a mobster. One thing that I found kind of interesting was the fact that Vito worked for a couple different families throughout the duration of the game. I have always been under the impression that if you work for a family, that's the only family that you work for, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I didn't do any research before making this video to see if that was something that actually happened in the late 40s and early 50s. I know I mentioned in the Mafia 1 video, I went and found all the collectibles. I found, I think, 48 out of the 50 main story Playboy magazines through Mafia 2. I might go back and get them all. I'm pretty close to getting them, so I think I might just to get the Ladies' Man achievement, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't think I'm going to go back and do all the wanted posters. I think there's 150 or 160 of them. Maybe I'll get to that, maybe I won't. I also didn't do any of Joe's Adventure or Jimmy's Revenge. Those are like arcade-style spin-offs, I guess you could say. Just didn't really interest me. I might go back and play those, but I don't think that's going to get a video on those game modes. But the collectibles were fun. I did think it's kind of funny. A lot, actually, the majority of the Playboy magazine collectibles that you find are all from mid to late 50s, early 60s. Obviously, Playboy wasn't really a thing until the mid 50s, and this game takes place late 40s and early 50s. So that had always kind of thrown me off. Thrown me off might sound a little dramatic, but I'd always questioned why that was the collectible when Playboy wasn't even a thing when this story takes place. I also really enjoyed the difficulty of this game. I played on easy just because I'm playing through 2 other games right now, and this was kind of my after work blow off steam game. And surprisingly, there were a couple times that really frustrated me, and I died a fair amount of times, even on easy difficulty. What you're seeing here is the final mission, and I had to play this 2 or 3 times before I eventually got through. And then, kind of towards the latter third of the game, I think, there was a mission where you're escaping in a car, and these guys are chasing you, and I kept dying over and over and over. Like, as soon as the mission started, I couldn't figure out what it was. I just took a detour, and eventually I got through the mission. But I felt like, you can't just sit there and absorb bullets. You do get hurt pretty easily, even on the easy difficulty. So I wasn't just running through the game. I still had to put some sort of thought and effort into my movements, which I kind of appreciated, even from an easy mode game. But overall, I really enjoyed Mafia 2. It was my first experience through Mafia 2, and I'm really, really glad that I got all 3 Mafia games. I will be playing Mafia 3 at some point. I have Halo 2 I'm trying to finish and make a video on, and I'm trying to get through Dishonored, so it might be a little bit until we see that Mafia 3 video. But as always, thank you guys so much for the support that you show on the channel. We're at 375 subs, so we're just 25 away from 400, which is still kind of crazy to me since I literally just play video games and just sit here and ramble for 6 to 10 minutes on the game that I played. So leave a comment. Let me know what game you want to see next. I know a lot of people are thinking Halo 2. Don't worry, that should be the next video after this one. I've got like 2 more missions to finish up on Halo 2. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate all the love and support. Leave a like, and like I said, drop a comment. Let me know what game you want to see me play next, and I'll see you next time. Peace.